you have to be able to be uncomfortable doing things that are out of the norm.
How do you feel about people that are constantly attacking us or talking about the way we look or our breasts? How does that make you feel, and how do you handle that?
Being able to break generational curses within my family.
I do not tolerate disrespect from any men, nor will I tolerate any disrespect to any of my women that come onto Insurance Elevated.
I also admire my mom for being such a hard worker and being able to provide for us. So my why is to be able to give that back to her. That's their opinion. But I know my opinion of myself, and I know my worth and who I am as a person.
Welcome to another episode of Elevated Fridays. My name is Kiara. I'm here with my co-host, Nisha.
Hey guys.
Nisha, how are you today?
I'm doing great, babe. How are you?
I'm doing good. So tell me a little bit more about yourself and why you decided to enjoy the insurance industry.
Yes. So, well, I'm Nisha. It's really nice to, be here with Kiara and, the team, and just a little bit about myself. So I used to actually be in the retail industry. I was in leadership management for about 11 years. I pretty much try to reach the top as anybody would, especially if they're trying to reach the corporate ladder, try to get to store manager, or even sometimes beyond that. And I just reached a point in my career where I just wanted a different challenge, but in a way where I can still help people, still be able to be in leadership, and honestly, just to be able to make a difference in my own life and in other people's lives. And I'm so blessed to have been introduced to this industry by Kiara and Eric, because it's been a blessing.
That we're friends.
I know. Yeah, obviously we're friends, but when they brought up the opportunity, it was like, why not, right? Being a business owner, yes, there's challenges, there's so much to learn, but that is the type of challenge that I want. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
How does it feel to be in an industry dominated by so many men and us being women?
Honestly, I came from the work. My career was, I was just surrounded by a ton of women, and I didn't get to have that experience being around a ton of males like we do now. And it's different. It's a different type of environment. It's a different type of culture. But one thing I can say is, for us women, especially with Kiara being in the office, it's such a really good balance either way. I feel like being around a bunch of these awesome, individuals, these awesome men that, over here staring at me. Sorry, I'm probably going to redo that. But, okay, but being around a bunch of men, yes, it's different. And I think, with Kiara here and having her support and being able to bounce ideas off each other and being able to spread a little bit more of that, womanly, we like to care a lot. We like to love. And I think if we spread that to the men too, I think we kind of rub off on them, but they also rub off on us. And I mean, yeah, it is intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little intimidating in the beginning. You have Eric, who's a powerhouse, and he's just, aggressive, and that type of energy is something I think too, for us women, we need that as well in this industry. So I think we all learn a little bit from each other.
That's good to hear. Well, I'm glad that we have you here. What are some key pointers that you've learned so far while being here at Insurance Elevated? What are some things that you must do consistently every single day, whether it's, writing your goals? What is your day-to-day? How does your day-to-day go?
That's a really good question, babe. I truly think a successful day stems from how you set yourself up in the morning. So one thing for me consistently that I've been doing is having a morning routine is really, really important to set your mind up for success. Being able to come into the office and have that really good state of mind of I'm going to kill it today. This is what I want to do. Not just waking up and you're not really you're not in that headspace. Yeah, you're not in the zone. You want to be able to get in the zone before coming in. And I think having that morning routine is super, super important. Another thing that I've learned while being here is, yes, you have to be able to be uncomfortable doing things that are out of the norm. And so, one thing I've been able to learn from you guys is, yes, take feedback. You got to humble yourself, do things that you don't want to do because you know it's going to be rewarding. And for instance, like the dialing, like I was super, super nervous at first trying to dial, especially in front of everybody. And I'm like, oh, like how am I able to do this? And she's like, you got this. And I remember being in her office and she's like, see, you can do it. Like, and it just takes that consistency of just getting comfortable and just doing it. And then at the end of the day,
with men as well, you know, it is intimidating sometimes getting on the phone and just overcoming that objection with, you know, having that stress of men being there versus you being in a room full of women and being comfortable and more bubbly, knowing that you can fall on your face as many times as you want and no one's going to judge you.
Completely agree.
You know, manifestation, you know, how often you constantly manifesting and how positive of a day are you setting for yourself every single day?
Yes, that definitely goes back to like the morning routine and that mindset and being able to, you almost have to tell yourself, like, for instance, like today, like I am going to hit this goal, but you have to feel that feeling that you've achieved it for that to happen, so that as you're being consistent, you're dialing those, you know, you're getting on the phone, you're doing 300 dials, that when it happens, it's like, oh my gosh, like I've already felt this feeling, and look, it's already happening. Like it's manifesting right now.
You're bringing it into existence.
Bringing it into existence. Yes.
I think my favorite part is that we're really strong believers in that, and everybody thinks that we're crazy because obviously they're mainly men in the office.
We're like the only two that's really big on just spirituality, manifestation. I mean, it works, right?
It does.
Having that right energy, bringing it in here, and really being able to spread that too, because I feel like that's so contagious. And so that's why her and I, like, we get along. We're great business partners. We bounce ideas off each other because it's like that frequency and that energy. Yeah. Yes. I love that.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about what is your why? You know, why did you decide to enjoy the insurance industry, and what is your ultimate goal here?
Yes. So I would have to say my biggest why is definitely being able to break generational curses within my family. I think, you know, I really didn't come from, you know, money. You know, it was a little bit of a struggle. My mom was, you know, a single parent, you know, after, you know, my parents had divorced. And it was a struggle. And, you know, I also admire my mom for being such a hard worker and being able to provide for us. So my why is to be able to give that back to her and to give that back to my family and for my future family. Like, I want to be able to set them up with wealth and success, and where they don't have to struggle the way that we did when we were growing up. So
that's amazing. I love you.
I love you too. I love you so much.
So how do you feel knowing that, you know, this is a male dominant industry and us being women, and of course, you know, we're constantly doing content. How do you feel about people that are constantly attacking us or talking about the way we look or our breasts? How does that make you feel, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It is that elephant in the room, right? It is that kind of like that sting, like that pressure point that sometimes for us as women, and you know, and maybe some men do feel like that sometimes as well, but more so for us because we're going out there, we're putting our faces out there, we're showing out to influence and to educate people, and now everything's on social media, right? So of course, if we're posting like a really nice picture of us and it's business, but at the end of the day, what are they looking at? Okay, so you know, let's just be honest here. However, for me, one thing that I would do if I see something like that and it's a little bit more negative or it's really rude is, you know, at the end of the day, I have to ask myself, like, okay, but you know your worth, you know who you are, and you know that you can just literally ignore it. Let it go through one ear, out the other. Let it go through, you know, just that's their opinion. But I know my opinion of myself, and I know my worth, and you know who I am as a person. So, you know, sometimes, yes, it's annoying, and I really think that if I'm having a bad day and I see something like that, or even something about Kiara, like I get very like defensive, like right off bat. I'm like, no, you know, and you immediately want to say something. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's not worth it. and you know who you are, and I know who she is as a woman. They don't know who we are as people,
And not just
right?
us as well, it's just women in general, you know. I just think,
100%.
you know, we're a different breed, you know, we can definitely ignore it and we know how to handle things like that. But believe it or not, there's actually some women out there who don't. There's some women out there who are really insecure. So what's a good advice that you would give them to handle it?
I really just, it goes back to that self-love, self-worth, knowing who you are as a person. And it's not all about the looks. I know that right now it's like, it's your looks, it's this and that, but that is just a piece of it. It's really who you are genuinely inside, how you are as a person, how you treat people at the end of the day. That's what makes you attractive. And I think if you are insecure about certain things, it's just spend that extra time to just really love on yourself and really admire all the things about your own self that makes you the person that you are. Like, you know, for instance, like Kiara, beautiful woman, she's so talented, but she has like this aura about her that I don't think other people see. It's like we see who we see in the mirror at the end of the day, but other people look at us so differently. We don't see it from, I don't, like you see me through your eyes, but I can't see who I am through your, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're always curious, like I wonder
Always
how that
curious.
person thinks of me.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's how you think of yourself.
Exactly.
And just being able to have that confidence.
Absolutely.
You have me thinking a little bit about, you know, as a business owner and being the owner of this agency, when new women come into this industry, especially our office, like what are your expectations for the culture, especially for like, you know, it's male dominated right now. So what are your expectations for, you know, everybody as a whole so that women coming in here feel comfortable, they feel confident?
Well, first things first is respect, obviously. I do not tolerate disrespect from any men, nor will I tolerate any disrespect to any of my women that come onto Insurance Elevated. Love, respect, just overall appreciating us as women and making sure that we are not being taken advantage of and that they respect us here. And that's what we do at Insurance Elevated. We make sure all of the women are respected. They are praised where they need to be. If they're doing a great job, we're going to applaud them. But no disrespect here. We just love each other, that they're motivated, and at the end of the day, that they feel comfortable here. We want girls to have a work environment where they feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Where they want to be excited and motivated and know that this is the place where they can literally have the worst moments of their life and nobody here is going to sit here and judge them.
And I will have to say, bouncing off that, is it's a very non-judgmental environment. Like we're all human, we all go through things. At the end of the day, you know, everybody's extremely supportive, no matter what anybody is going through, and we all respect each other enough to give each other either time or space or, hey, let's have a one-on-one, let's go for a walk. Like everybody's super understanding and caring. And I think that also makes this culture a really great work environment.
Especially that it's dominated by males.
Especially because I don't think in a lot of male-dominated offices, I don't think there's a lot of that goes around. I don't really think they go outside and have a walk or one-on-one or like, let's go get a coffee. Like, let's talk about it. Like, let's, are you feeling okay? Like, do we need to reset your mind? What can I do for you? And I think, and especially for a lot of the guys in here, they're very open door policy. Like, I'm here if you need anything too. And Kiara too. I think she like rubs off on everybody. So I think they're like, following her lead with that. But everybody's like, come to me if you need anything. And I love that. I love that so much.
Another thing, that I actually thought about was this morning, it's really big, as you've seen in our meeting, in our culture. I mean, as you can see, regardless of you being a female, a male, Black, white, Asian, whatever, Puerto Rican, a girl or a male, I mean, your work ethic, your hard work and dedication, that is going to determine your success. As you can see, as the numbers, this morning that we were able to help so many families.
Right.
And that's the one thing that we really do focus here as a culture, is that no matter what, you can always make it.
1000% agree.